Hi there. I know that you were expecting a fountain pen review video, and it is actually here. You can skip my little introduction here directly below by clicking on the link. But I wanted to insert a little editorial um, discussion here right at the beginning, and you don't have to listen if you don't want to, but I wanted to get this off my chest. I've been on YouTube for about 10 years now, and I've always just played my guitars and done cover songs and showed people how to change strings and so forth. Just sharing things as part of a society. Things that I'm enthusiastic about. I'm enthusiastic about guitars, about photography, and recently I've been become an enthusiast about pens, fountain pens. And I found that over the last 10 years, the internet has changed in its aspects, changed in its complexion. And it used to be where people would get together to share information and make everybody better. You know, that you're sharing information, you're sharing knowledge, you're helping people out, and it kind of showcased the best of people. But lately, unfortunately, the internet has become a place where people divide and find reasons to hate. I'm on the enthusiast side of things. It's the things I love, and the things I love to talk about, and the things I love to showcase. I'm not here to brag about my guitar playing. I'm an amateur. I'm not here to brag about my pen collection. I got $20 Chinese pens. I'm not a professional influencer on YouTube. In the last week or so, I've been inundated with cease and desist notices from corporations who run YouTube to keep me from playing my guitar and doing any familiar tunes. They say it's a copyright violation if I do just strum those chords in my basement. They tell me to take the video down, so I'm risking actually having this video taken down too, because I just played those chords. The actual song that I played was this one by a band that I'm not going to mention, because just mentioning the name of the band in your video will get it taken down for copyright reasons. But even my fountain pen videos were threatened with being taken down because I played some music, some soft Mozart music that was royalty free. I played it in the background. It's a nice soothing background, but I was slapped with a notice that my pen video must be taken down because I played Mozart in the background. So the video that I'm doing on my and here's the pen that you're waiting for, my Crocodile 377, which I very much like. It has no background music on it because, well, I want it to stay up. But I also got some flack about you know, the kinds of things I was saying about fountain pens, that I was incorrect about this, or I was doing it wrong that way. I got lots of feedback about my lighting is poor. I got a lot of feedback about my guitar nails being really disgusting, and so a lot of the typical internet trolls. I find that is more prevalent than support these days on YouTube and on the internet in general, in forums and so forth. People would rather go and distribute and enhance and inflame hatred rather than love of something. If you criticize without any constructive reason for that criticism that you're trying to help, it is the opposite of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the love of something, an amateur's love of something. Whereas the criticism to drag someone else down is a form of hatred. I always remember my mother always used to say things like, look at where it comes from. If someone hurts you, someone says something nasty about you, so forth, you know, you have to let it roll, because look at where it's coming from. See who the person is that's actually doing that. Maybe they're a very sad person themselves. And that may be true. It doesn't change the nature of the slight. And the fact that people who are contributors and creators, the people that are the creators of content, are the people that are doing all the work. It's so easy to sit back and say, "Oh, I don't like the color of your hair," or "You're bald," or "You're fat." It does say a lot about whoever's saying those things, but at the same time, creators tend to get frustrated with that kind of thing and not want to put anything out there anymore. My mother always used to say as well, that you don't build yourself up by tearing someone else down. And that's very true. So I'm not going to go and attack other people and call them names and things like that. But at the same time, I don't feel like working my butt off, putting videos together, sharing things, to be attacked by a corporate entity for copyright violation for playing. So I'm at risk now for playing that chord sequence, because apparently someone owns that chord sequence, and I'm not allowed to play it in my basement and send a video of that out to my friends. So that's pretty distressing, and so I'm giving serious consideration to just making all of my video stuff that I do private among all of my friends. I do a CD a year of cover songs, and I send it out to family and friends every Christmas, and you know, that satisfies me. So I might refrain from sharing anymore. I know this is a bit of a depressing kind of intro to the fountain pen video, but again, you can skip it if you want to. Just my 2 cents worth. I've taken down 30-40 videos over the last week off my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be moving some of my stuff over to Vimeo, because YouTube is no longer a friendly platform. So again, if you enjoy this video, go ahead and click like, but don't click subscribe, because I'm not going to be posting much anymore. Those of you that did subscribe, thank you very much. I don't do this for money. I've never done that for any kind of thing on YouTube or public media for anything other than just self-satisfaction. I just enjoy what I was doing. So I thank you for those of you that did support me, and to the rest of you, bye-bye. Hello again, and welcome to my channel. This is Doug, and I have yet another pen unboxing. Only this one doesn't have a box. This one is another Chinese packet. This one's from Bobby Pens in China, and I'm very excited about this delivery. This was a special order. I had Bobby find this pen for me because it didn't seem to be available anywhere, at least in the West. So with the help of Helen on the Fountain Pen Network, thank you, Helen, Bobby discovered the location of this particular pen by Crocodile. It's a Crocodile 377, and she got one, and she gave me the information for me to get one. So here, my first view of it. I'm very excited. I'm hoping that it will work out and be a pen of choice. And of course, my pen of choice right now is my beautiful Visconti Van Gogh, which I always like to display. Isn't that beautiful? Love that pen. Everyday writer. Okay, let's tear into this package without further ado, and I will speed up the process so you don't have to be bored by it. And there we go. He's included this lovely felt sleeve. Isn't that nice? I love doing business with Bobby Pens. He's Office Supply on eBay, and he has a storefront on Etsy as well. But Bobby Pens has pleased a lot of pen customers over the years, I think. I've just discovered him. Let's see, here it is. Ooh, this is great. Got the pen condom. I play guitar. These are my fingernails. I'm not trimming them. Look at this. This is lovely. It's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. But what struck me about this, I saw it on a Chinese web page for Crocodile. There was sort of a catalog. And this pen sort of stuck out to me because it looks like a Pelikan M800. I've never held a Pelikan M800, so I'm not sure if it's the same size. It might be more like an M600. I would have to do a side-by-side comparison. But this is why I'm getting this $20 pen instead of a $800 pen, because I can't afford the $800 M800. But this does feel like a fairly hefty pen, which I like. It has the same kind of finial that the Pelikan does, only this is in two-tone gold. You can see there's gold along the center. It's got that sort of Parker Arrow kind of look. The Pelikan has, of course, the Pelikan bill on its clip. That clip is fairly springy. I thought it was going to be stiffer than that. So it's got the Crocodile logo on the finial under a bit of acrylic. Very similar to the Kaigelu, which I'll probably compare this pen to. And then on the cap band, there is a Crocodile. There it is. And nothing on the back. So it's got chrome with gold accent and a gold logo. And the body, well, that's interesting. I thought it would be painted, but it looks like some kind of an acrylic because it has got some chatoyance to it. Each one of those bands isn't really painted on. In the pictures, I thought it was going to be painted. Let's see if I can get that to focus. You can see there's some see-throughness, if that's a word, to that. Of course, on the Pelikan, the black areas are actually translucent so that you can see the ink inside the piston. And then this is a blind cap for the piston, well, actually the turning knob for the piston filler. This is not a piston filler, this is a cartridge converter. It's a snap cap. Let's see, this is what I'm interested in. Oh, if that nib ends up being what I hope it is, this is going to be a pen I'm going to use a lot. It has a little crocodile on a two-toned nib. This looks to be, I'm just going to cut here and get out my Kaigelu for a second so I can compare them. As you can see, I've got three Kaigelus, Kaigelu 316, and they are very similar to a Parker dual fold in terms of size and looks. But the Pelikan M800, now this is a much lighter pen than this one. This is very heavy comparatively, and this is a bit thicker. But I do love this pen. This grip is perfect for me. The size of that grip and the way it flares out and the way it sits in my hand is perfect for me. So that's why I was hoping this Crocodile was going to be similar. The nibs are similar. That's why I wanted to compare them here. Here we go. I know that the Kaigelu, this one here, the kangaroo, is like a, it's not really a 6, it's sort of like a 5.5. And the Crocodile now looks like it is slightly, well, might be an optical illusion. I might have to do some measurements. Take a look there. They look just about the same. The Crocodile looks slightly smaller. But the nib on the Crocodile says the Crocodile, and then it has a 22K GP on it, which I understand in Chinese means 22 OK, great pen. Certainly doesn't mean gold-plated. And there's the feed, which looks like a very ordinary feed. The section is shorter, I think, than the Kai glue. It has this chrome bit down here and a little lip. Keep your fingers from sliding off. And then there's another chrome band right there. You get to the end cap, and there's a chrome band, a smaller step down to a plastic knob with a chrome bit that sort of echoes the chrome bit over here. So it's symmetrical from end to end. I quite like that. It's a nice design choice. Let's see if it actually posts. I'm not fond of posting pens anyway because they get very big. But oh, I love that. Look at that. How many pens have you seen that looked like they were going to post and used an actual clip? It actually snaps. It still is a long pen, and it sits back weighted in my hand, so I don't think I'm going to post this, but that's what we used to say in the day, nifty. Look at that. That's clever. This is not your typical Chinese fountain pen. I'm surprised that they aren't available more. Bobby did say if we got some interest in this pen and he gets some orders, he might start keeping stock of these. There are apparently different colors available as well, but the red one appealed to me. I love the way that flips in the light. Look at that. Let's take a look at the converter. So it's a Crocodile converter, has the Crocodile logo on it, and some Chinese writing, and a gold band here with a gold tip on the end of the converter. That's all very nice little features. It's got an agitator inside there, and it works very well. We'll see if it actually holds water, or ink even, and a gold band there too. That's very nice. I'm going to try the nib first and see whether I can live with it. If it ends up being high on my scale, I will not think about replacing it. But if it ends up not being something I can work with, I might look to replace that nib with something like maybe a Goulet nib or something like that. But boy, this feels great. Okay, so I can't wait now to run it through its paces. Again, this is the Crocodile 377, not available anywhere right now, but we will see. I will clean it all out, and I will come back and fill it with ink and do a writing sample, and then I will hold off judgment for a few weeks before I do my evaluation, as I've been getting complaints that I review pens too quickly. So we're going to give this one some time. I also want to take a look at it compared to my Picasso, because I have a Picasso 916, which is a beautiful pen. And this again is not an inexpensive pen. This was more like, for me, closer to $50 Canadian. It is a snap cap as well. It has a beautiful nib, two-tone gold, and a really nice large section with texture on it. But the Crocodile Crocodile is quite a bit smaller in both weight and length. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. So, back at you once I've cleaned it out. Okay, here we are back from our commercial break, whatever commercial we had. And I have cleaned out the pen with a little bit of soapy water and dried it all up. And I have put some Hiroshi Zuku Konpeki in the pen. And I tried it out first. Wanted to make sure that the nib would write. And it was a little bit scratchy. I adjusted the tines a little bit and got it to write fairly smooth, but it was still fairly dry. So I put a little shim in between the tines and spread it a little bit, and it seems to be writing pretty nicely now. So what I'm going to do now is go through the different sizes and dimensions of the pen, and then we will do a writing sample. I'm going to compare it to some other pens as well. So here's the pen, and the total weight of this pen is 35 grams. When it's uncapped, it weighs only 19 grams, which leaves 16 grams for the cap. It's, as I said earlier, it's a lot lighter than I expected, because these kinds of pens are generally pieces of brass that have lacquer on them, and they end up being fairly heavy. And this one, I'm not sure what the barrel is actually made of. It has a metal insert there, and it looks like it's metal all the way down, but now that I look at it, it actually looks like it's metal just part way down here, and then it's plastic, and then you have the, I would guess, a metal end cap piece. So this barrel actually weighs a lot less than I expected it to. Plus there's no metal threading on the section, which some of the other pens have. There's a little bit of metal there. So this section feels fairly light. And the cap itself doesn't seem to have too much weight to it, but enough that when you post it, which it posts very nicely with that solid click, it feels like it's back weighted. So the balance is, the center of gravity is way back here. There you go. You can see. So the cap itself, 16 grams. Now, because it's so securely posted, it ends up being a very long pen. It's not uncomfortable to write with posted, so if you like that, you can certainly write with it that way. The overall length of the pen when it's capped is 137 millimeters, and when it's posted, it is a very long 161 millimeters, and unposted, it's a very comfortable 119. So 119 fits in my hand very nicely. The section isn't as long as I would like it, but this division between the barrel and the section isn't that bumpy, so it actually feels okay. And so again, I have no problem writing with it like this, with my thumb on the upper part of the barrel, or the lower part of the barrel, and my fingers down here below. And there's that little lip there that keep you from slipping down, but it doesn't feel slippery at all. So those are the dimensions of the pen. Let's look at it in comparison to some other pens. So there's the Crocodile 377. Here is a Parker Sonnet look-alike. This is the Bauer 388. And as you can see, they're almost identical in length, although the Sonnet is much thinner. Here is a Wingsung 3008. I really like these little piston fillers. And you can see that that's a little bit bigger. And here is a Jinhao 159, not 149. And let's bring this pen down closer. You can see that the Jinhao is quite a bit larger. And the real point of comparison for me is my favorite pen, other than my Visconti, is my Kaigelu 316. And the Crocodile ends up being just about the same length, a little bit girthier. Of course, it has the screw threads, and the section is a little bit longer, but it is certainly a lot bigger and a lot weightier in the hand than this lovely Crocodile. I think this is going to grow on me. So let's look at the nib again. See if I can get it focused in here. It's going to focus there. There we go. It has that little crocodile on it. And it's a good size nib. As I say, I smooth it a bit, and I spread the tines out a little bit so it wrote a little bit wetter. So let's give it a writing try and see how it does. I will change my angle and give it a try. Okay, so this, I'm going to write with it unposted. This is the Crocodile. .377. It is a medium nib. And the ink, oh, I can't spell, Hiroshi. As I say, it's not a very wet nib, and I spread the tines out a little bit to see if I can get it to flow a little bit better. But I think I might have to do a little bit of surgery on the feed itself. So I might attempt taking the nib out and the feed. But right now, it's very smooth. But as you can see, it is not keeping up when I write a little bit faster. See? So you can push it so it's a little bit squishy, but you might be able to hear it does have some feedback. Even though it's feeling smooth, it's not scratchy, but it's certainly giving you that tactile feel of the paper. This is Rhodia dot pad, and let's see about reverse writing. No, not even attempting that. So I think I might do a little bit of more work on this pen. It feels great and it looks fabulous. Look at that flashing as it moves. I love that. So this is just my first impressions. I've had it for an hour. I will write with it for a couple of weeks, and then I'll do a full review on it. See whether I can work with that nib a little bit more. But right now, I would say out of 4, it's probably in the 3 range, whereas my Kangaroo, my charcoal one especially, is, oh, wouldn't you know, very smooth and just feels like butter. Just love it. And I would say that pen there is a 4 along with my Visconti. But again, as always, thanks for watching. And that's all she wrote.